Yes.
Call the meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and join us in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Councilman Adams, if you would, please bless the proceedings for us.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for bringing us here together to be about the town's business. Pray that everything would be conducted fairly and honestly for everyone involved. In your name we pray.
Amen. Be seated. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Monday, January 11, 2016 meeting of the Fort Mill Town Council. Appreciate everybody's attendance this evening. In case you're wondering if the leadership change is going to bring a change in attitude, I want you to take a look at that.
I wanted a hammer.
Council, you've had the minutes in your packet with an opportunity to review. Are there any corrections, deletions, or amendments?
I have one, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
Under new business on page 2, the second paragraph down, when we were talking about what ward that was located in, the answer was given as Ward 3. I don't think that's Ward 3.
Staff, can you put a double check on that for us?
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
And then make that correction in the minutes.
Yes, sir.
Do we have an approval contingent upon that change?
Move to approve.
Motion is made and seconded. Do we have a further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Anybody sign up for public comment? Okay. Seems like an appropriate time. I will not be here upon the finish, so I'd like to go ahead and give council an opportunity to go around the dais. So at this time, let's begin here. Tom, I think you asked first.
Go right ahead, because I've
Okay.
got something prepared.
Well, I'm leaving council for a brief period of time, at least today, but it's been my honor and privilege to serve the people of Fort Mill for the last 8 years. I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed my relationships with my colleagues here. Some have come and gone since in the last 8 years, but it's been a great privilege to serve with y'all. So thank you, and thank the people of Fort Mill.
Thank you. Can we do it now?
Please.
Okay. Mayors. Mayor Patterson, McFadden, Hallman, Powers, Thunderbird. I've had the privilege to know and respect each one. Tonight we honor Mayor Danny Thunderbird, or Mayor Thunderbird as my daughter called him 8 years ago. In the past 9 years, I've had the honor to serve with Danny both as a councilman, a mayor, and as a friend. We've covered much time and many issues. Mayor Thunderbird has served the people of Fort Mill. He has served with time, talent, and passion. In particular, under his leadership, the Spring Festival for Fort Mill grew into the State Strawberry Festival, a hallmark event that includes golf, pageants, art, music, contests, and fun for all. This has been led and nurtured by Mayor Thunderbird, growing to the point of serving well over 50,000 visitors and residents, and has been recognized, among other accolades, as the Festival of the Year by the state of South Carolina. In addition, Mayor Thunderbird passionately pursued the project to formally recognize and document those in our community that have made significant contributions to the Hall of Fame. A wonderful and hopefully enduring way to honor those that went before us. And Mayor Thunderbird has worked to open our town government up to the people through his efforts to increase volunteerism and committee work, helping residents to participate in what makes our community so desirable. Many accomplishments, many recognitions to list, but the one that I would like to highlight tonight is the one that I've seen personally. Danny's dedication to the role of mayor and the people of Fort Mill. In his 8 years as mayor, I've only known of one event that Danny was unable to attend. And it was not even a town of Fort Mill event, so that doesn't mar that attendance record. That's right. Danny has worked tirelessly, no matter the conditions nor the time needed, to be present at every event that involves the town and its residents. He holds dear the honor to be there for Fort Mill and its people. Time, talent, passion, and dedication. Thank you, Danny, for setting a standard. Don't you make me cry.
I want to tell you how much I appreciate all those eloquent words. And I will take the opportunity to go ahead and jump in front and say the last 8 years have been an absolute pleasure for me. It's not often a little Mill Hill boy like myself can get to be the mayor of his town. Taking a look at those folks like Mr. Luke Patterson and Charles Powers and some of these folks that I've always admired, and then having my turn to sit in the center seat of this dais has been a very, very big deal for me. And I guess next to my relationship with my God and my family, it's been probably the most important thing that I've been able to accomplish in my life. And so I appreciate it. I think we've laid a great foundation. At least I hear that from most of the folks that I speak with. And that foundation is there to be laid upon. So many improvements to come. I'm sure under Gwen's leadership, there'll be constant and continual improvement in the town of Fort Mill, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I will continue to be available. And after taking a little time off, who knows? There'll be some other opportunities, I think, to serve. Volunteer work has always been special to me. I've always prided myself as a citizen servant, so I see no reason that will not continue. So thank you very much. I appreciate it very much.
And I think is now the right time. We'd also like to honor you. Mayor Danny P. Funderburk, in appreciation of outstanding service to the town of Fort Mill as a member of the Town Council, Board of Zoning Appeals, Mayor from 2006 to 2016. Town Council and staff recognize you for your leadership and dedication to our team. Got a gift for you. Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
The state.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this very, very much.
And take these to Maureen.
My wife is homesick. She'd have been here. I'll sniff them all the way home. Yeah,
For all her labor too.
absolutely.
Thank
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Lonnie?
It has been my privilege to serve with Danny and with my fellow colleague here next door. And I've learned a lot under Danny's leadership. I came on 8 years ago, but actually nine and a half years ago. But I've learned a lot, and I look forward to serving the town of Fort Mill and the citizens of Fort Mill for another 4 years.
Please.
So as the new kid on the block around here, only on a few months, but thank you so much for both of you for your guidance and your leadership, but also your faith that you continue to instill not only on this council, but in our community.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Jamie?
I appreciate the opportunity to serve with both of you guys. I've learned a lot from all of it, everybody on the council here. Danny for taking me aside the first time I ever got elected in, and he took me out to lunch and said, make sure that you keep the town first. That's what we're here for. We're not here for pride. We're not here for ourselves. We're here for the town. And I keep that in the back of my head every time we come and take our positions up here. So thank you.
Amen. Thank you, brother. Larry?
I'll keep my remarks short. I understand there's a football game or something.
Roll Tide.
But as the longest continually serving member of the council, as a councilman, I've enjoyed serving with you, Danny, and Tom, and look forward to the next 4 years. I noticed we got a little new name tag, and it's really fancy. And it's so much nicer than the one we had under Danny.
Wait a minute. Now, the ones that you had under me were gold, and that one's silver.
It's just a lot nicer. If this is a sign of the things to come, I really look forward to the next 4 years.
I would like to say thank you because I had to do this, wanted to do this stuff for Danny. I'd like to not just thank Tom for his service, but for the integrity and the support and the kindness and the honesty.
Thank you.
It's really going to be hard to serve without you here. And, you know, there aren't many people that we could run a campaign and put friendship first, but you're that guy. So I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do for Fort Mill
Thanks.
and for Friends.
Thank you.
I'll echo those comments as we close with this, but Tom, I really enjoyed serving with you, man. I've told Tom this many times. Tom was a very pleasant surprise for me because he came in and I thought, man, what is this radical cat going to do when he gets here? But what actually happened is, as it will always happen when you serve in these seats, is you recognize that your job here is to provide basic service to the town of Fort Mill. You know, we don't provide low-cost senior housing. We don't feed kids breakfast before they go. All those are wonderful things. That's the responsibility of someone else. Our job is to make sure that if your house catches on fire, you want the fire truck there in 5 minutes. And if somebody kicks your door in at 2 in the morning, you want to get the cops there to make sure they don't steal your groceries. You want to have clean water when you turn the tap on, and you want the bad stuff to go away when you hit the lever. You know, all of those things are what we do, and that's basically what we focus on here. And it allows us as a group or as a collective to put the town first, because politics really play a very small role in what we do up here. And I would admonish each of my peers as I depart to please stay focused on the 13,000 citizens that live inside the town limits of the town of Fort Mill. That's your responsibility. Everything else, that's your cupcake. Everything else is frosting on the cupcake. If we're able to work with other groups and other entities and try to help them accomplish their goals, or if we have common goals as we move forward, that's all wonderful. And that's exactly what we need to do. We need to eliminate duplication. We need to combine resources. All those things are extremely important. But the first responsibility is always the folks who live inside the town limits of the town of Fort Mill. I think if we always keep that in mind, we'll always be doing the right thing when we make these hard decisions. Good. Now, move on to presentations. First up will be the swearing in of our incoming mayor, Mrs. Gwen Savage. Gwen, do you have an idea of how you want to do this?
You're going to read the oath, and Mr. Charlie Powers is going to hold the Bible, please. And my daughter's going to stand beside us.
Make sure it's not good.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point.
That is.
Not a judge. Lisa's a judge. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please repeat after me. Say your name where I say mine.
Sure.
I, Danny Funderburg,
I, Gwen Savage,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duties
of the office
to
which I have been elected,
which I have been elected,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend
the
Constitution of the state
the Constitution of the state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
As mayor of the town of Fort Mill,
As mayor of the town of Fort Mill,
I will equally,
equally,
fairly,
fairly,
and impartially,
and impartially,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and skill,
skill,
exercise the trust
exercise the trust
reposed in me.
reposed in me,
And I will use my best endeavors
and I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
according to law,
the purposes for which
the purposes for which
I have been elected.
I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God. Stay? Yeah. Stay? Come here, Charlie. It's kind of nice in a small community to have 3 mayors in one place.
I said I always try to position it behind somebody. Just catch like an ear.
They're the swearing in. Then we're going to take a brief recess.
All right.
Well, yes, me, sign. I need to-
Next up will be swearing in of council member Mr. Chris Moody. Chris? Here you go, Judge. Ms. Moody can hold that Bible.
I think he wants his parents.
Yeah.
I state your name,
Chris Moody,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of this office,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and I will,
and I will,
to the best of my
to
ability,
the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect,
preserve and protect,
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the state
of the state
and of the United
and of the
States.
United States.
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
I will equally,
I will equally,
fairly, and impartially,
fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
and will use my best endeavors
and will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to the law,
according to the law,
the purposes for which I have been
the
elected.
purposes for which I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Moody.
Thank you.
Next up will be the swearing in of council member Mr. Ronald Hamlin. Years would be daunting for most folks, but Mr. Jones had a real passion for education and for nurturing and ensuring each child received enough learning to propel them forward in their lives. As superintendent, he had a keen
I state your name,
I, Ronald Helms,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and I will,
and I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect,
to preserve, protect,
and defend the Constitution of the state
defend the Constitution of the state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
exercise the trust imposed in me,
and will use my best endeavors
and will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to the law, the purposes
according to the law of purposes
for which I have been elected.
to which I've been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir.
And finally, the swearing in of council member Ms. Lisa McCarley. Got your own Bible?
Is it not?
You'll stay right here. She's in control. She's definitely in control.
I state your name,
I, Lisa McCarley,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of the state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and I will,
and I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend
and preserve, protect, and protect,
the Constitution of the state
the Constitution of the state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
As council member of the town of Fort Mill,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
and will use my best endeavors
and will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to law, the purposes
according to law, the purposes
for which I have been elected.
for which I've been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Time we'll go into recess for 5 minutes, and the new mayor will then return and conduct the rest of the meeting.
Like to call the meeting to order. Thank you. We'll start out with a public hearing item number 1, an ordinance amending the Town of Fort Mill Capital Improvements Plan for fiscal year 2015-16 through fiscal year 2019 and 2020. Be any comments? Any comments, questions? We'll close the public hearing for item number 1. Public hearing item number 2, an ordinance amending the 2008 Comprehensive Plan for the Town of Fort Mill as amended on January 14th, 2013 and August 24th, 2015, so as to incorporate an amended version of the Town of Fort Mill Capital Improvements Plan as an addendum to the priority investment element contained within Volume 2, Fort Mill Tomorrow. Any public comment? With no public comment, we'll close public hearing item number 2. Public hearing item number 3, an ordinance annexing York County Tax Map Number 65700000114. And no, I don't know why we read all those numbers, but it is containing approximately 4.48 acres at 1544 Sam Smith Road. Any public comment? Any public comment? With no public comment, we're going to close public hearing item number 3. We can start old business. The first item that was listed in the agenda, an old business item number 1, an ordinance annexing York County approximately 8.10 acres on 1122 Hensley Road, has been deferred. So we will defer that item this evening.
Mayor, can we go ahead and get a motion? to
Yes, would we
defer that?
want to do that?
Yes.
Do I have a motion for
yes.
deferment?
I move the item referred to in old business item number 1 be postponed sooner of 60 days or upon the issuance of a willingness and capability letter to the developer from the town.
Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against? All right, we will close old business item number 1. Old business item number 2, second reading. An ordinance amending the Town of Fort Mill Capital Improvements Plan for fiscal year 2015 through 16 and fiscal year 2019 through 2020. Do I have a motion on this item?
Move to accept.
Move to accept as is written.
Yes.
A second?
Second.
Um,
Any discussion or comment?
I'd like to ask town administrators, one of the comments that's listed under the recommendation was that Planning Commission was given the following wording. It goes on past this, but Planning Director Joe Cronin stated that the Town Council had voted to proceed with the upgrades and renovations to existing building at 1881 North Toby's Bridge Road. And it goes on. But I just want for the record, we did not vote on that. The only vote that has taken place on this was to vote to sign an agreement for Bobbitt to be able to do the drawings and the rendering design work only.
That's correct.
So we need to be sure that that not only is updated in what we're voting on today,
Right.
but also updated in what's presented to the Planning Commission, and that's presented correctly.
Ms. McCarley, would you like to word that in the way of a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we move this, defer it as well, 30 days out, or at least until our next meeting where this can be properly written.
We have a motion on the floor to defer old business item number 2, second reading, for 30 days. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Do we have any
30
discussion?
days or to the next meeting?
Next 30 days or the next meeting?
Whichever.
Or,
Yes.
well, I think we probably have to reword the motion to indicate, or we
One
can
or
do
the
that, one or the other.
We can reword, I'll make the motion that we defer it till the next meeting.
Okay, we have the motion on the floor to
Second.
defer and a second. Any further discussion or comment? Okay, close old business item number 2.
Mayor, you gotta vote on that.
And we do have to do that, don't we? Darn, that football game's looming. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, now we
Go
can
back
pass
and
that
vote.
one. Old business item number 3, second reading. An ordinance amending the 2008 comprehensive plan for the town of Fort Mill as amended on January 14th, 2013 and August 24th, 2015, so as to incorporate an amended version of the town of Fort Mill capital improvements plan as an addendum to the priority investment element contained within Volume 2, Fort Mill Tomorrow.
Ms. Mayor, since we didn't actually follow through with the second reading of the ordinance to amend the capital improvements plan, I would recommend that we defer this similarly.
Okay, do we have a motion to do so per Mr. Pettit's guidance?
I'll make a motion that we defer old business item number 3 until our next meeting.
Do I have a second on that? Any further discussion, question?
Can we get clarification on who seconded that?
Ronnie?
Ronnie? Okay, thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay, closes out all the old business items listed for this evening's meeting. New business. New business item number 1, first reading. An ordinance annexing York County tax map number 65700000114 containing approximately 4.48 acres at 1544 Sam Smith Road. Again, this is first reading.
Ms. Mayor, just to provide a brief staff report, the town received an annexation application from Darrell Troll for approximately 4.48 acres located at 1544 Sam Smith Road. We do have an aerial map showing the location of the property. It's outlined in red, essentially bordered by Interstate 77 to the east, Harris Road to the south, and Sam Smith Road to the west. The subject property is currently zoned RC1 in the county. That district would primarily allow single-family residential and modular homes. The applicant has requested a zoning designation of LI, Limited Industrial, upon annexation. The LI district allows a variety of commercial uses, mostly wholesale, retail sales, light manufacturing, warehousing, auto sales and repair, office, and other similar uses to that. The comprehensive plan designates the area as medium-density residential. Given the size and the location of the property, staff believes that the zoning designation of LI would be appropriate in this situation. It's bordered essentially on 3 sides by similar zonings, LI to the east and south, and BD3, which is a county zoning similar to LI to the west. So staff certainly recommends and in favor of the annexation of the zoning designation of LI. The Planning Commission did review the request at their December 16th, 2015 meeting and also recommended in favor of the annexation with a zoning designation of LI.
So in summary, the Planning Commission and the planning staff recommend the annexation as is proposed. Is that
That's
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the first reading of annexing tax map as listed in new business item number 1.
Do we have a second?
Second.
That's 3.
I was gonna say. Any discussion or questions?
I'd like if we could verify what ward this is going to be in, and it'd be nice if we could start doing that every time we're annexing, just for clarification, particularly if it's bordering 2. So if we can clarify that before the next meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That would be great.
think it's about.
This is across the street, I think, from Freeman's Auto.
Yeah, there's
correct,
a
Mr. Allen.
auto and the paint shop over there, and then there's a construction staging area on the other side of Harris from it.
Yeah.
Any further comment? With no further comment, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
Your question, Lisa, I think that's mine.
New business item number 2, request to approve a contract with Winter and Company for professional services related to the development of the Historic District Design Guidelines. We have
Mr.
any?
Mayor, members of council, this is a request to consider approving a professional services contract with Winter and Company for the development of architectural design guidelines for projects within the town's historic district. If you'll recall, back in June of 2015, the town accepted a federal historic preservation matching grant in the amount of $25,000 for this project, with the town's matching funds being included in the 15-16 budget. Staff worked alongside the South Carolina Department of Archives and History to develop an RFP for the project, to which we received 11 proposals. Planning staff, with the assistance of 3 Historic Review Board members, reviewed those proposals and unanimously selected Winter and Company as the most qualified firm to complete the project. They've got experience in over 100 projects throughout the U.S. and several recent projects in South Carolina. A draft contract was included in your agenda packet at a total fixed cost of $49,990. If council approves the contract and authorizes the project to move forward, staff would begin immediately, and we would expect to be completed by September of this year.
Of 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a 50/50 grant, so it's really half of that.
What would we do with the $10 that's left over? Any further information for us, Mr. Pettit?
No, ma'am, that is all at this time.
What,
I'm
what
happy to
exactly
answer
is Winter
questions.
and Company, what is going to be their role? To identify?
Winter and Company, their main role is they are going to be the historic preservationists. So they're gonna, with staff, walk downtown, note the key architectural features that really create what is downtown Fort Mill, going along with what the history of Fort Mill has, so that the idea is in the future, the Historic Review Board will have these design guidelines in hand to work with potential renovations, so that everything we do is moving forward has the elements of the historical Fort Mill in it.
I make a motion that we move to accept the contract with Winter and Company for professional services as stated in new business item number 2.
We have a motion to accept. Do we have a second? Any discussion? I have a question. We're also looking at the UDO, where we have a company that's looking at the revision to that. Will this correlate in any way? Will they connect, overlay?
They will. Certainly that the consultant is going to review the proposed changes currently to the UDO. It's likely that it will be included in the UDO as a reference, so that it just makes it a little easier to handle. But the idea is that they will mesh.
And what about the Historic Review Board that the town has, where we have volunteers? Will they have some input to this as well?
Staff is planning to work with the Historic Review Board sort of as a steering committee in this project, because ultimately they're the ones utilizing the document. As applications come in, they utilize that document to determine what needs to happen, sort of as an appearance review process. So certainly they will be heavily involved.
And I know this is a ridiculous question, but I'm going to ask. What if the historic view of some of the buildings is ugly, and we don't want it to look like that going forward?
Sure. One of the reasons that we selected Winter and Company, and one of the things that they did is they provide options. So, ultimately, this is exactly what this building used to look like. This is a modern interpretation that sort of is in keeping with the historical nature of the building, but is a little more modern. So one of the reasons we did select that is because they sort of do provide those options in moving forward.
And once all of this is completed, we will be able to give that to those that are interested in revitalization efforts so that they'll have some type of consistent plan to look to so that as their investment moves forward, they won't have as many questions.
Yes, ma'am. The idea is if we have a potential applicant come in, we can hand them this document and say, if you build to this document, you'll get approved. As opposed to now, well, we'll know it when we see it. You know, we don't like this, we don't like that. We'll know it when we see it. So this will definitely be better than that.
I like consistency. That's a good thing. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion, question, comment? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved. Okay, new business item number 3, bid award for combo sewer cleaner truck, Ben Wright. Staff have some presentation for us? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Mayor Savage, members of council, back in December, as you can see in your council packets, we put out to bid for a combination sewer cleaner truck for the stormwater utility. We sent out, with the help of City Manager Mr. Pieper and other contractors, we put out a pretty stringent bid with our own specifications that were more than what just anything standard would be. Seeing as this is such a large purchase, we wanted to purchase something with the town that would, you know, fit the town and our utility and the need for this utility. The need for this through the stormwater department, currently right now, we have over 25 miles of large diameter stormwater pipe within the town limits. We also have over 750 plus catch basins and 125 outfalls. With these large diameter pipes, it takes a large piece of equipment to not only clean the pipes out and the debris, but also to vacuum out the debris as well. And this debris is like leaves, grass clippings, the things that collect in these basins. They clog up the drains and they flood your streets. Also, when this infrastructure was put in years ago, it is aging, but a lot of it was cementitious style pipe, or a steel type pipe that was coated but not really well. And when these organic materials and stuff and fertilizer runoff and things like that get in these pipes, then they start to degrade the pipes. You start getting galvanic corrosion. You start getting crown corrosion in a lot of your cementitious pipes. And that's where you see a lot of your failures and your sinkholes and things like that. With this type of machinery, it allows us to clean those out and extend the life of the utility. So that is, you know, part of the reason for it. But anyway, back to the bid. We sent out the bid package. We received 3 bids. And based on the bids that we received, as you see in your packets, we've made the recommendation to award the bid to Southern Municipal Equipment. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I think it's important to note that the stormwater, that I think this year, did the tax bill reflect the first set of fees, Mr. Pieper, for
Yeah.
the stormwater?
Actually, I believe it was on
fees?
there last year.
Were they on there last year?
Right,
I just
correct.
know I had a couple of questions. 2 years, Paul?
Yeah.
I think it's important to note that those are requirements that are given to us by the state. They're not a programmatic approach that the town selected. It is something that we're required to do, and I believe that this particular purchase would aid us in moving forward with our requirements. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. We are, DHEC and the EPA do require in their capacity management, operation, and maintenance program for stormwater utilities that we clean and televise 10% of our lines each year. So.
Okay.
So is this truck, it's solely for the large pipe, or how universal is that?
It's for large pipe. It's for large or small diameter pipes. This particular machine, I wouldn't use it in anything less than 6 inches, but most of our stormwater pipes are in excess of 12 inches and above.
What's the expected lifespan of the particular truck?
The expected life cycle of the truck is
10 to 15 years.
10 to 15?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It just depends on how much you use
I have certain utilities that swap them out every 5 years. They use them on a daily basis. And then I've got some that do it 7 or 8, and then some. A small town like this, I would expect 10 years minimum.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Okay.
What kind of budget are we looking at for a run rate, maintenance cost?
You're probably looking at about $2,500 worth of wearable items a year.
And will this funding be supplemented or covered from the stormwater? Stormwater fees?
Yes, ma'am.
So in essence, for those of you that haven't followed that particular issue, it's one of the indications for the monies collected, that to do the work, we collect the money so that we can provide the infrastructure needed
Yes, ma'am.
to accomplish the task.
So for clarification, no impact fees will be used for this. It's not
No, this is
eligible.
stormwater fees, correct.
Okay.
Further questions? Do I can call for a motion?
I make a motion to accept the bid from, is it Vulcan?
No, sir.
Vacon
Back on, yes, sir.
So the municipal equipment.
truck to be used for the Fort Mill sewer cleaning.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, a motion. Any further discussion or question? I would like to say this, for those of you that mow your grass and just mow it out into the street, or your leaf blowers, you're blowing the leaves out into the street, it's got to go somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
You would help us out a lot if you would bag and dispose of your yard debris in a proper manner.
Yes, ma'am.
It is costly, it is an effort, and it would be a lot easier for us if everyone would do their share, do their part. And I, for one, do not like driving on streets that are flooded by water, and we've had a lot of rain lately.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that would be aided greatly if everybody would do their part.
Just to dovetail on it, we have a awesome street company, and they will come, and if you just take it to the edge of the curb, they will come and vacuum it off. It does not need to go to the road. You just keep it right on the edge of your yard.
Incredible folks working for the town in that, on that front. All right, we have a motion, a second. Do we, ready to take a vote? Everybody in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, there are no information discussion items. There are no committee reports tonight. There is no executive session. The upcoming meeting and event schedule, Town Council meeting February the 8th at 7 p.m. here in Council Chambers. Would like to remind everyone that on January the 18th at 10 a.m. at the Fort Mill Church of God, the town and its people will be celebrating the Martin Luther King Day, and we have a very good program lined up. It should be of interest to all. And then they'll be walking unless it snows, which they say it might. We'll be walking from the Church of God up to the History Museum, where light refreshments will be served. No further question. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone that is remaining here to fight the battle further. Mr. Huntley, do you have any further comments?
No, other than on the Martin Luther King Day celebration, there will probably be one that night also.
Yes.
I guess it'll be in the paper. There's going to be at the United AME Zion Church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Jamie?
Congratulations,
Thank you.
Madam Mayor. Congratulations, Chris. Happy to have you on council.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Lisa?
Just wanted to let the town know that the annual Dancing with the Stars Fort Mill event is coming up pretty quickly on us. That's February 13th. Will be held at the Point. This year, that is a change in who will be receiving the proceeds from that event. In the past, it's been just for middle school sports. The school district did add middle school sports back into the budget finally after 5 years. So now we can move forward, and that event will the proceeds will go to the high schools and the middle school athletic booster club. So as much as you know, our town really believes a lot about our schools and the education our children receive. There's always a need for athletic programs and additional funding. So this is a great event. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But I'd love to see you all there. And welcome aboard. Good to see you, Mr. Moody. Glad to have you on this side.
Appreciate it.
It's always a great event. Lisa puts a lot of hard work into that for our children and our community. So good luck with a very successful program. Ronnie?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Other than that, I'm good.
All righty.
Yeah.
Chris?
Thank you guys. Glad to be here and look forward to serving the town and roll tide.
Spoken like a true Gamecock fan.
Finally, it's very nice to look out and see so many faces and so many of our family members supporting each of us, town employees, friends. Thank you so much for what you do for us. We are servants to you, and we want to do a really good job. So thank you so much for all that you do for us. And with that, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I have a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We got to get a better hand. Thank you so much.
At least I didn't jump every time we hit.